And we're live back after the first round of playoffs that ended last night.
Oh, my God. Unbelievable.
With the birthday boy, Jeffrey, and I here.
Hey, how's it going? Thank you.
Yeah, just kind of a lot to kind of soak in with the first round already. Got a
Yeah.
little bit of, if you're a hockey fan of the playoffs, you kind of got a little bit of everything.
You really did.
Because I can't really think of anything playoff-wise
No,
that you'd want to see
because
that you didn't see.
In review, you have two sweeps.
Two sweeps, like a couple overtimes. There was a stat I saw.
Yeah, plenty of
NHLPR
overtimes.
tweeted.
Not only that, but all four division leaders or winners are out.
The
and that's
wild card
something
teams are still
you haven't
in.
seen. Wild cards are still in. I saw someone... Hold on, where was it? Okay. Yeah, there's 2 8 seeds, the bunch of jerks in for Carolina. No cup for a team in 51 years, no cup in 28 years. A team that apparently hates goals, Brad Marchand and Nathan McKinnon.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep. You also had some questionable hits and everything.
Yes, that we'll definitely get into
which
for sure.
Well, probably then, because the season's out for them, so the
Yeah.
would then have to take place
right,
regular season, right?
and
It's not
that's
preseason.
That's something we'll definitely talk about in a little bit. So kind of like our breakdown for today's podcast. We were talking about this, trying to figure out our schedule. So, recap of all 3 Game 7s. That is unreal. That was awesome. With round 1 officially ending last night. And then tonight's games, you have 2 going on, 1 in each conference.
Yep. One lane Game 7, the other ones were close.
Yes.
Literally as close as you can possibly
get. Absolutely. The Columbus Blue Jackets and the Boston Bruins in Boston tonight. Game 1, 7 p.m. NBC-SN. And then Game 1 for the Dallas Stars at the St. Louis Blues. NBC-SN, 9:30 right after that one, so you don't have to go back and forth on channels, which is awesome.
Now that it's getting shorter and shorter.
Yes, it's nice. So
we can
Tuesday night, April 23rd, we 2 Game 7s back-to-back. First, Toronto in Boston, Maple Leafs against the Bruins. Oh, my God. Dude, it's just, I don't know what it is. Boston has Toronto's number.
They do. I thought there was a short time where I thought Toronto was actually going to win because they were ahead in the series.
3-2.
Game 6.
Yes.
They were ahead.
Yeah.
They scored their first goal. I was like, wow.
This could be it.
Then they just kind of took a bad. They took a bad penalty at one point, and then they just kept falling apart for them. And they were even into Game 7 were able to really come back from it. Also, it's just another thing is, if you lose Game 6 for them, you're probably losing Game 7 because you have to go back to the Garden.
Yes.
Because that was the benefit of you possibly ending it in 6 is you're at home.
Yeah.
Unless there's a little more stress to that just because you're at home. You're in front of your fans. You want to try to do a little too much to try to win or whatever. But
yeah.
Fortunately, Boston got them again.
They did.
Unlike last year, because Toronto came back and then Boston won Game 7.
Yeah.
It's kind of opposite this year.
Yeah.
I mean, still a fun series.
It's always a great series, and
that was kind of
you knew it was going to go easily 6 or 7, but this is why.
Yeah. It was one of those things. Even we were having problems when you were doing our predictions first. Like this could go either way.
Yeah, exactly.
It depends on goaltending, and both goaltenders are pretty sharp for the most part. Stars players eventually showed up. Matthews showed up eventually. Marner and the top guys, obviously. But the one thing I was hoping for was possibly a Maple Leafs Islanders.
Yeah.
A battle for Tavares.
Yeah.
At least in the conference.
But the ironic thing is, obviously we'll get the Islanders one in a second. John Tavares, he's not in the second round of the playoffs, but yet his former team is.
Yep. That's hockey for you.
Yep. But quickly about Frederik Andersen. 2.75 goals against average, .922 save percentage, 3 and 4, obviously. Allowed 19 goals.
I mean,
how do you think?
That was a very big question mark because at the end of the season, remember he struggled a lot, and the Maple Leafs struggled a lot. Where it's one of those things where would the series even go 7 just because of how much they struggled near the end? But they were able to keep their own for the most part. But then they just fell off at the end. And then at this point, it's just a matter of, for the Maple Leafs, locking up Marner.
Yeah. And Kyle Dubas even made that known that was a priority.
Now.
Exactly.
I would do it as early as possible to avoid any shocking teams of possibly offer shooting you.
Exactly. Literally, there's no point in waiting. You need to get this down now.
Not that it would happen, but if someone sees your cap situation, they might try to, because then you're kind of screwed and trying to get that back.
Yeah, and we'll bring up Toronto's cap situation right now on CapFriendly.com. We have, but it's always interesting to bring up though. So right now, 3.88
because now it's
mil is their final cap space. But then if you scroll all the way down, Mike, you have under statistics. So right under biohistory, you have the statistics, and if you look under projected cap space, that doesn't jump on much. It goes from 3.88 to 4.49 mil. So again, it doesn't jump up a whole lot. Your biggest contracts that you have to worry about. So Michael Hutchinson, 1.3 mil. Yeah, it's
the big ones are
big ones.
Kapanen and Marner.
Yes, also Gardner
too.
And I actually have an interesting thing about Jake Gardner. I'll get in a second. And Ron Hainsey, he's just a big contract, 3 mil. Obviously Marner, Kasperi Kapanen. I think Andreas Johnson actually is going to get a semi-decent chunk because he played a very pivotal role for the Leafs more than people would realize. But so Jake Gardner said, and James Myrtle for TSN tweeted this out. He's editor-in-chief for The Athletic. But from a quote from Gardner, this team has a real bright future. Basically, he was saying, says if this is the end, he'll be proud of the fact the team is where it's at compared to when he, Kadri, and Riley arrived. Which is a great point because they didn't have much.
No, they didn't.
Exactly. And then now where they're at, it's great. He was getting really emotional at that point. He says he'll miss his teammates the most about Toronto. So right then and there, the fact that he says he'll miss his teammates, does that kind of point out? And if you you don't even have to read between the lines much.
No.
I think he knows he's not going to be able to come back.
It was kind of like Mrazek last year. I think it might have been one of those things where you're in the exit interview or whatever with your coach or GM or whatever.
Whoever.
Like, look, you were a great part of our organization for this season and everything, but unfortunately we might be going a different way this next year.
Right. Yeah. And Mike Babcock was saying they need more. He says of the roster, the need for more depth. So
the problem with the Maple Leafs is your depth problem is your defense.
Exactly, and that's why I think if you lose your other Gardner, that just hurts it even more.
Your cap is going to be tied up into signing Marner and Kapanen and everyone there.
Yeah.
So then you can't really, unless you can find or get a young guy to kind of, or in your system that can kind of show up now or whatever, you might kind of have to suck it up with the depth defensively you have.
Yeah.
At least for the time being. Because after next year, you do lose Marlowe's contract.
Mm-hmm.
And Marlowe has been obviously a big factor. He's assistant captain, but still there. Or there is no captain on this team, that's right. But still.
Yeah.
As much as you like the veteran leadership and obviously his future too, you're not really sure with him. How old is he now?
For who?
He's 39 right now. By the time his contract's over, he's going to be in his 40s.
For
Marlowe.
Yes.
So if you did re-sign him, you could easily do a little one.
Exactly. Kind of like a Joe Thornton contract, and what he should be getting.
Yeah.
And then so for Tuukka Rask on the other side for Boston, 2.31 goals against average, .928 save percentage.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't seem like it, but Tuukka obviously had the better series. And like we said, you made the point from the very get-go. It all comes down to goaltending.
It came down to Game 6. Game 6, 7, he shut them down.
He did.
Kind of like when we were talking about in the San Jose LA series a couple years ago when LA came back,
Yes.
where Quick shut down the last
Yes.
2 games.
That was it.
Tuukka
That
did
was
the same
key.
thing.
Yeah, no, hands, gotta hand it to Tuukka Rask and everything.
Sure.
And,
Even though first Boston fans, if you heard or around or whatever, are not the biggest fans of Tuukka Rask.
Yeah, I have heard that actually.
Yeah.
Which shocks me.
It
because
shocks me, but maybe it's just because we're don't really pay attention much to the
Right.
Bruins, other than when they
I don't know,
play the
it's-
Flyers or playoffs or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
I don't know. They like
he's his
they
moments,
like they like Halak more than they like Tuukka.
They
so.
did, but hey, still won.
Yep.
And in the second game,
And I mean, if you want to give him up, I'd still take him.
oh, absolutely, hands
Even though
down.
we have Carter Hart now, I'd still take him.
That's a great duo right there. Just keep him there until Felix Sandstrom comes up. Excuse me. The second game apparently was the greatest Game 7 in in a long time, and of course I missed. So I missed the first Game 7 because I had to work.
San Jose, LA, or
I missed
Vegas?
Toronto and Boston's game, but that didn't
Yeah.
really matter. Then I missed San Jose and Vegas'
because
game.
that was later that night.
That was literally that night because I had worked till 1:30 in the morning, and as soon
saw-
as I got done my
I saw
shift,
bits and
I
pieces
turned
of
on my
it,
phone
yeah.
to tune into NBC app to watch the game, and it said, "Oh, 5-4 Sharks." I'm like, of course. But that was incredible.
That was more so big for the Sharks.
It was huge, but
I mean, Vegas. They're still going to be Vegas next year.
yes,
They're gonna. They still have. I mean,
yeah,
the only thing they have to worry about is re-signing Carlson,
yes,
William Carlson.
yes.
They don't.
I don't think hold on. I gotta go there now. Yeah, they have 2.335 mil. Jimmy Schultz. He's an RFA. How is his contract? This makes no sense. His contract's 6.5 mil. He's 23. I don't even know who this kid is. He's an entry-level contract. Okay, this has to be a typo or something because this is his. So this contract is a 1-year entry-level contract that was signed after the start of the season. Is therefore subject to an increased cap hit value, as explained in the FAQ. Okay, but still, that's unreal.
Yeah, he was a light kind of signing.
Yeah.
But here's an also other thing.
Yes.
That contract's done. He's only 23.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect him to make
6.5 mil.
make more than Shea Theodore.
No.
I also don't know how much they value Belmar. I know he's their
alternate captain.
I thought he was. It's not coming up on
Oh, I think
he is.
He's 34 now?
Yeah, I didn't even know he was 34.
Oh my god.
That's what I was about to say. He's 34.
Wow.
But
I think if anything he'll come back as a depth player
oh yeah, he will.
I think he'll be 1200.
He actually might make as much as he has now, maybe a little less.
Yeah, I think
here's
between the
other
1200 to 1400 range.
situation.
Sorry. Not that much. I'm sorry. 1.2 to 1.4 mil. That's what I meant. Because they have to re-sign William Karlsson. That's going to be a big piece for them.
Did you see their projected cap space though?
I'm look. Go boy.
Yep.
Negative 2.875 mil. So the guy signed re-signed Karlsson. Belmore possibly re-signed. I think Tomas Nosek. I think there's a chance they could re-sign him because he played a pivotal role in the first 2 seasons for the Vegas Golden Knights. He scored the game-winning goal.
Yeah.
In Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals last year.
Oh yeah.
Brandon Peary and Ryan Carpenter, $650,000. Nikita Gusev, $925,000. We talked about Schultz, $6.56 mil.
Malcolm Subban,
Derek Engelland, $1.5 mil. I think Subban will get a decent contract.
Subban or England might be. He's
I think,
37.
I think England's
I think
done.
if there's someone there like, okay, we can get rid of him. It's Derek Engelland.
But still, the fact that it's it's negative 2.87 mil. That doesn't help.
No.
And even if you don't re-sign England or if he retires, whatever, you still have at least another 1.2 mil to cover until you're back in the positives. And that's not good.
Yeah.
And it won't help because you have William Karlsson re-sign and everything. And the Mark Stone deal, it made sense.
That's why they don't have it now. But yeah.
Yeah, because Yeah, because his contract jumps up from 7.35 mil to 9.5 mil. Yeah, I get. And then Pacioretty's contract jumps from 4.05 to 7 mil.
Yeah.
So
That's why
that
it
kind
goes
of
to
is where it
negatives.
hurts them.
Yeah.
And then Alex Tuck, 925,000 to 4.75 mil. So those are the biggest moves that really hurt them. And Nate Schmidt, 2.22 mil to 5.95 mil. So all those players I just mentioned, that's where it's killing them right now. So I don't know how I like these contracts. We'll see how George McPhee plays around them and everything. But, I'm curious. But, dude, Vegas, they are loaded
Vegas
with
is,
picks.
Yeah, I was about to say, they have 9 picks this year.
They have their first 5 picks. They don't have their 6 or 7. They have Nashville and Winnipeg's third, and they have Minnesota and Montreal's 5th. So overall,
I guess I could.
They have 9 picks in the first 5 rounds.
I don't think that's going to be what their favorite thing to do, but maybe they tried trading Eakin or someone just to get some of the cap away and
Eakin's 3.85 mil.
And if that's not enough,
I
maybe
would
pull in one of these picks because
I would get rid of him.
Even if you want to give up your first round, because it's not going to be that great of a pick anyways, because it's going to be at the end of it. But even so, it's still a first round pick. So some value there, but and still with a young team like the Golden Knights, they might want to keep that.
Right.
And this is
so we know that
for San Jose, the reason why I thought it was huge that they were able to come out of it was they have not as great of a cap situation going on,
but my thing is that I would get rid of Eakin, 3.85 mil if you can. Probably not re-sign Belmar unless you can get a cheap deal for him.
I think you can. I mean, he's not making that much right now.
Right, true. But it honestly depends on how much, if they even re-sign Jimmy Schultz. Because I don't even know who this kid is. So I remember hearing that they're going to sign him. I guess, I don't know where he came from, but
he's only 23. So.
Right, so I just don't get how he's making that 6.5 mil. Like, that just doesn't make sense. I didn't even realize he could do a 1-year entry-level contract. Anyway, so either that's going to go away completely, or he'll get like a $1 million, $2 million deal. I don't know how good he is or what type of deal he'll get, but either way, they'll get easily 4 to 5 mil back, if not all 6.5 mil back after releasing him, and that's going to get them back up in the positives for their cap space,
But yeah, this was a bigger thing for I think it was more. If the Sharks lost this, I felt they would probably have been screwed.
Sharks?
Going forward, Sharks, if they lost their Game 7.
Yeah, it's because I was talking.
Because right now, even though they have a bunch of UFAs this upcoming season, a lot of them are kind of important.
They are.
They have to re-sign Timo Meier.
And he's going to get a good contract.
Joe Pavelski, the captain. Whatever you do with Erik Karlsson. But I think it comes down to...
Because their cap space, it's projected to be 22.63 mil.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of guys in the minors you got to re-sign, which shouldn't be a problem. But then the biggest names, like you said, so Joe Pavelski, 6 mil. Thornton, 5 mil, but realistically, he'll get 2-3 mil.
Nyquist.
I was talking with a friend of mine who's a Sharks fan. I think they're going to, unfortunately, have to let Nyquist walk. He's 3.32 mil. He's a good piece, but I think there are more important pieces to re-sign. You have Timo Meier, Jonas Donskoy to re-sign as well. Kevin LeBanc, who put up 4 points in a period in Game 7. Unreal. Erik Karlsson, if you can try to re-sign him. I was going to say, so here's my question for you.
For Erik Karlsson, it just depends on how he feels about San Jose.
Right, I think he does enjoy it there. You can kind of see the joy he has and brings to San Jose and everything.
I think at first he might not have been enjoying it as much because they kind of struggled to start.
Exactly. His new place, got to build chemistry and everything. But here's my question for you, Mike. So let's say if San Jose did not win the first round, hypothetical situation.
I'll take him.
I know you would, but I'm saying if San Jose did not win the first round, would Karlsson just say, all right, thanks for your time, I'm going to go somewhere else? Or would he still re-sign?
He might for this fact that they might care more about trying to sign Pavelski and some of their other guys over.
Exactly. Because
Carlson.
Pavelski's the captain.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. I would want to resign Pavelski. Yeah, sure, he's
The only-
34, but he can still play hockey.
Yeah.
He's amazing. Like, some of these athletes, like, look at Joe Thornton, for example. He's 39.
Yeah. It's hard to believe he's only a couple years older.
I know.
than
It's,
Joe
I
Pavelski.
keep thinking Pavelski's like 30 alone. Logan Couture's 30.
Logan, she's the 30.
Yeah, he's the 30.
This team is older. That's why I felt this.
Their
is the
average
time.
age is 28 and a half years
Brett
old.
Burns is 34.
On
Vlasic's
defense.
32.
Oh, my God. Burnsy's
Braun's
34?
32,
Oh,
yeah.
that hurts me. I don't like that.
Jones is 29. That's good, I guess.
Yeah,
'cause-
and then, so the average age is 28 and a half for the forwards, 29.1 for the defensemen, and 29 for
yeah.
the goalies. But still, I don't like that. They definitely need to get younger. That's why
They
it helps
aren't-
having Kevin LeBanc, Timo Meyer, Tomas Hertl,
It doesn't help that. Oh wait, yeah, they have.
and then Barclay Goodrow. By the way, Goodrow, his move on Marc-Andre Fleury, absolutely phenomenal in, what was it, double overtime?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great game.
It doesn't help that they only have 8 picks in the next 2 drafts.
No,
They have
that's
4
gonna
this
hurt.
year, 4 next year.
Yeah, but so I want to get
That's
your
and the fact of them trying to
yes.
get younger or whatever. But while you still have these guys, because
Mhm.
believe it or not, Couture, Brett Burns at least and Couture,
Yeah,
they're there for a while. Kane's there for a while. Vlasic's there
Yeah.
for a while, and Jones is there for a while.
yeah.
It could end up being like a Kings kind of situation, where they're good but not good enough to make the playoffs.
Honestly,
And
I
Soros-
think they're gonna
I
let
know it's not
Nyquist
much,
walk.
but next season, Sorenson's contract goes up too. That's not much, but it's up to 1.5 a year.
Couture is going up $2 million next year. Yeah, Sel Sorensen. And then other than that, everything else is kind of the same. But so now I kind of want to break down what happened in Game 7, of course.
Oh yeah, the cross check or
yes.
whatever.
So it was 3-0 Vegas Golden Knights. It was a commanding 3-0 lead going in third, and then out of nowhere, off the face-off, the whole game changed. Before anyone
That
knew
was
it,
the game changer.
it was Joe Pavelski, the captain of the San Jose Sharks, the heart and soul of this team, was down on the ice, and he looked like he was out cold.
He was bleeding,
Bloody
blood on the
face and
ice.
everything, and trainers rushed.
Yep.
No one knew what happened. All that you knew was he was on the ice. Replay showed that as soon as the faceoff happened, Cody Eakin came in. It definitely was a cross check. That I guarantee you was a cross check. Because at first people were thinking, "Oh, did he get cross checked to the face? What happened?"
Yeah, no. It was him hitting his head. To
Exactly.
the ice that caused the
And
injury.
that's what so it ended up being Cody Eakin gets a 5-minute major, and on that and game misconduct on that major, San Jose scores 4 goals, takes the lead, and then Vegas there goes my mic. Vegas tied.
That one you did yourself.
I did. Vegas ties up the game with like a minute some left, and then obviously I had to double overtime, and then Gaudreau scores the game winner on a gorgeous move. But going back to the Eakin hit, because it was such an awkward play all around.
Yeah.
I watched that replay like 3,
I've
4,
watched
5
so have I.
times
Like a couple times. Like, is that just an accidental?
because they didn't
contact thing?
show the best angle right away.
No, and even the other angles weren't really the best
Yeah.
either. But like when I kept seeing, it was like, was this like an accidental? He just hit him because he was like right there, or was this like a malice kind of thing? Like, kind of like get out of my way kind of thing.
Well,
But
that's
then he hits him, and then he skates back towards the. in front
right.
of
So
net.
what happened again was Eakin came in. It was definitely a cross check. At most, it should have been like a 2-minute
Yeah.
penalty for cross check. But so let me, because I was talking to a friend of mine, hockey historian Scoop Cooper, and because I was asking him what he thought about the play, and because I was asking him also, like what's the difference, or what's like a one, what was the definition of match penalty? Because I wasn't sure if he just got a game misconduct or a match penalty. So a match penalty involves the suspension of a player for the balance of the game, and the offender shall be ordered to the dressing room immediately. a match
Here's
penalty.
the other thing too. Pavelski was falling forward already, and then he hit him.
Yes.
He was falling off the face-off.
Yeah.
He lost the face-off and was falling backwards, and then he hit him.
Yeah, and then because Eakin hit
So
Pavelski
essentially, if I want to put it
and then
in,
Stasny came in and knocked him even more off his feet.
if I want to put it into an NFL kind of thing, if it was a defenseless receiver,
Yes.
he hit him.
That's a great point, honestly.
Yeah.
Because Eakin cross-checks him, he's already off his bounce, then in comes Stasny, he hits him.
Or kind of similar to if you were hitting him into the boards.
Yeah.
He wasn't expecting to hit.
No,
he was
wasn't.
not staring at him at all. He was looking at the ice, and then he came and blindsided him.
Yeah.
I'm watching the video again. That's why. That's why it's coming.
No, I'm glad you
back to
mentioned
me.
that. But because after Eakin hits him, in comes Stasny, and he knocks him even more off his feet, and then the fall causes him to go down, and then he of course hits his head on the ice. But a match penalty also should be imposed on any player who deliberately attempts to injure or deliberately injures an opponent in any manner. I think the call was justified based on the result, but not the intent.
Mm-hmm.
So the result was brutal. There's no doubt about that. But there was honestly not much intent. It was just a big hit. Yes, he did cross-check him. Then Stasny came over and knocked him down when he was defenseless. And
he was
then,
already losing an edge, and then he knocked him
exactly. So here's the kicker of all of this. Ready for this? The NHL reached out to George McPhee regarding this situation, and they admitted the mistake on the Cody Eakin major penalty.
Mm-hmm.
They said today that it should not have been a major penalty because everyone was losing their mind on this play.
That can go either way on it.
I really could. I still am having trouble with it. I'm not sure because there's a friend of mine, my one friend Adam, who's the Sharks fan. He was saying, like, I want to get your opinion on this because, I just want to see what you have to say. And right away, I was like, you know what? Like, this got 5-minute major. Like, how? I didn't even see what happened. I watched the replay like 6, 7, 8 times just to get an understanding. And again, all it is he cross-checks him. Yeah, that's definitely a cross-check. But then he's already off balance. In comes Stasny. Stasny knocks him off his feet. His head hits the ice. Bad result.
Stasny knocked him over first off the face-off, and then he hit him as he was coming.
Exactly. And, so he was already off his feet, and after Stasny nudges him again, or bumps him off completely, down he goes, and bang, he hits his head on the ice, is all bloodied up. Mm-hmm. There is no update still right now on Pavelski. Luckily, they don't play for a little bit. Yeah, so
my guess is he's probably not playing it.
Honestly,
the first 2 games.
I would say first 2, maybe even the third. It all depends on how his health is doing and everything. It
could be like
though,
it looks. I guess not. I was gonna say it could be like the Nolan Patrick thing, but he took a puck to the head and threw it to the ice.
Yeah,
because he came back that game when that happened. He didn't miss any time.
Right.
Not that they were similar, anyways. The only thing similarly was that it was to the back of the head.
Yeah.
There's also nothing you really can do about that kind of hit either.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that game went from another boring Game 7 to like the Toronto one to an exciting one in a matter of seconds.
Basically.
And then there was last night.
Oh my God! So I again was missing a majority of Game 7, and then on my last break, I caught the final 5 minutes of the third period, and I saw it was going to 5 minutes of overtime, or something like that. Watching that, as soon as I found I was going to second overtime, my break was over. I was getting ready to get back. I texted my dad. I said, "Hey, it's about to go double overtime. Can you record this on DVR?" I said, "Absolutely." So I shut my phone off for the rest of the night. Did not turn on my laptop. When I got home, did not turn my phone on. When I got home, I just sat back and watched Game 7 between the Hurricanes and the Capitals.
The Capitals have passed.
They did.
They weren't like last year's Capitals, like the Capitals before last year.
Exactly.
Because
they were up 2-0.
2-0.
Then 2-1, 3-1, and then it was 3-3, and then 4-3, double overtime. Brock McGinn tips in a turnaround shot by Justin Williams to win the series in 7. And I just wow.
Yeah.
Just wow. I'm still shocked that I was going I saw it happen and my mouth just dropped because I originally picked Carolina in 7 and I got it right. I don't know how I got it right, but I got it right, and I was just shocked that I even got it right. But hey, congratulations to Carolina for upsetting the Stanley Cup champs.
Yep.
There will be a new Stanley Cup champion this year, and there was someone. Okay, so new Stanley Cup champion, 19th time in the past 20 seasons. Here's the team captains left to receive it that will lift the cup if their team were to win. For Boston, Zdeno Chara. Columbus, Nick Foligno. The New York Islanders, Anders Lee. Justin Williams for the Carolina Hurricanes. If he's even able to play and even make that far, Joe Pavelski of the San Jose Sharks. Colorado Avalanche, Gabriel Landeskog, Jamie Benn of the Dallas Stars, and Alex Pietrangelo of the St. Louis Blues. Those are the only captains left that could lift the cup. The last cup for each team, 3 of them have never won it. Columbus, San Jose, and St. Louis. 1983, the New York Islanders, the Dallas Stars, 1999, Colorado Avalanche, 2001, Carolina Hurricanes, 2006, and, of course, the Boston Bruins in 2011. I love playoff hockey. It's the greatest.
That's why I like the playoffs in baseball and hockey the best.
Yeah.
Because
you never knew what to expect.
Yeah, it's that. Is that if you're hot on the right day, you're going to upset them. If you don't show up, you end up like the Lightning.
Exactly.
Or the Flames, even though I still think they could have been. That's.
Yeah.
I was going to say you could put the Flames in there, but I didn't really have much trust in the Flames going into the playoffs.
Mm.
Not that they were a bad team. They still got over 100 points and everything, but I don't know. They were just a team that I felt they weren't really built to go far. I don't know. They also, Kachuk and Gaudreau didn't show up either.
Unfortunately not.
And it wasn't even Smith's fault, and I thought that was not the best move to put Smith in, but hey, he didn't play terrible, so that's not why you lost. But it's weird, like, all on Twitter I'm always seeing, like, everyone saying how surprising the first round was and everything of teams like getting upset and everything.
Yeah.
And for the year, that's not the only thing that's really surprising to me is the Lightning. Because they're the only team, even through the season, that I felt was dominant and could win. I guess you can maybe put the Penguins in there, but even then, the Penguins
used to add them at least winning a round
or a game.
Or game, yeah. Definitely. I had them winning.
I could go either way on them winning a round because this year was not the Penguins of the past couple of years. They looked beatable this year. The Penguins. Did. The Flyers beat them.
The Flyers won the series. They won 3 of 4.
They came back twice.
Exactly.
An outdoor game, obviously. And the other game where Provorov back-checked and stopped them from the empty netter, and they won in overtime thanks to John Couturier.
Thanks, Coots.
He is a very Penguins killer, that John
Couturier.
Is.
Yeah.
They went just as far as the Flyers did, too.
I know. It's so... Do you know my favorite insult comeback, whatever you want to call it? It's like, if your team didn't make the playoffs, this should make you feel better. Mm-hmm. So, if let's say if you're a rival of, like a team that got swept, so like Tampa Bay or Pittsburgh, you're like, oh, like your team didn't even make the playoffs. It's like your team won as many playoffs games as we did this year. So,
you can always say that about those two teams, though.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying for like these two teams only, but because they're the only ones that got swept, but still.
Because looking back on it, like the whole season and everything, because of this podcast and your Light the Lamp podcast, this is the most I've kind of paid attention league-wise, at least standings and everything. And
definitely standings-wise.
Obviously, there's going to be changes all the time because, it's a long season.
Yeah.
But it was just a weird season. No one in the West seemed that dominant. It was a weird season in the West.
Yeah.
That's just kind of why St. Louis was able to come back. The Metro wasn't that dominant either.
The
The
only
only division that looked that dominant was
Atlantic.
the Atlantic, and 2 of them had to play against each other,
Yeah.
and the one's out, and 2 of them are out now. So.
Yep.
But even like this team, like the Jets at one point at the start of the season were got off hot. Lightning was hot at the beginning of the season, but then he cooled off drastically.
Yeah.
I don't really think he showed up much in the playoffs either.
Just everyone
The
cooled
Capitals
down
pulled a Capitals.
of the past.
Yep.
Yeah, so we kind of went over
The Avalanche and Blues are the thing of when you're hot at the right time.
Yes.
That's why they're where they are now. Also,
you could argue the same about Dallas.
you could say that about Dallas, but I was going to say the opposite of Nashville and Winnipeg were kind of average near the end.
They were.
And like even like it came down to like the last day for Nashville to take the Central.
It was, and which is so interesting.
And like there was a couple times where the Blues were ahead in the Central.
Yeah, which I was honestly
because
shocked.
it wasn't the same Jets and Predators team from last year.
Not even close. Not even close. Yeah. So we went over the Toronto, Boston, in a way, Washington, Carolina. We went over San Jose, Vegas,
We kind of went over to both Tampa Bay and
Columbus.
Penguins won.
And yeah, Penguins won. Yeah. So here's the thing. So really quickly on Columbus.
What's your?
This is their first ever playoff series win.
Yep.
So this is the first time ever in the franchise history they're in the second round.
Yep.
That's awesome. But sorry, what were you gonna ask?
I was gonna say, what's your biggest kind of takeaway
From all this?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Again, kind of like what we talked about. If you're hot at the right time, anything can happen. You just gotta get in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
And I keep saying this all the time. Like,
yeah,
the season doesn't matter, and in a way, it doesn't. If you're looking at season series and everything, but once you're here, your season doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Again, a perfect example, Tampa Bay. And this is also kind of my biggest takeaway from this whole thing. Because I had Tampa Bay running away with the Stanley Cup.
This year was Tampa Bay's season to lose.
It was.
Because even though at the beginning of the season I said the Jets would win, and when you were predicting when the playoffs started, I said the Sharks.
Yeah.
Would take the over or would beat the Lightning. I still would think that it would still be the Lightning's year to take it because, like I said, there's no real dominant
They
team.
had 340 goal scorers. 3.
I don't know what happened. Like I don't know what was said at the end of their end of season press conference.
I would love to be in that room
I
with
would
that
love to
press
be in that
conference
room,
going on.
and I hope it's not that they're saying they retired. Because if it's that, then I'm blaming Cooper and the management for them losing that round. Because you didn't have to win so many, or if you were trying to keep it to trying to tie or beat the record for most wins, you didn't really have to. You knew from February that you were going to win the whole league. You could have rested players from time to time. You could have rested Hedman so he doesn't get hurt and he's in the playoffs for you.
So, did you want to add anything else before I
No.
go? Okay. I am honestly so glad I said that because that's literally the point I was going to bring up. I think the only reason Tampa Bay not only lost in the first round but got swept, they wore themselves out.
How?
Because literally, you brought it up. You literally hit the head on the nail right there. They were going for the record in the regular season.
I mean, I guess in a way,
Because, like, yeah, it's a
in a
pride
way
thing.
that a
And
team,
you're like, oh, yeah, like we tied the record for most wins in NHL history. That's awesome.
the
but
counter to that, I would say, is the same way why a team that missed the playoffs is still going to try near the end is I kind of want to play spoiler here.
yes.
For them, it's like, okay, we still have some reason to keep going.
Exactly.
Even though there wasn't, but at that point, and even I know fans would
They
probably,
ran away
I know
with
fans
the
would probably would have
league.
hated if, like, you sat Stamkos or Hedman
Or Kucherov or
Kucherov
Point.
for
If
a
they
game
had
or
that- if
two.
they sat.
But still, you're already making the playoffs, so them missing a game against the Senators,
It's
not going to be
pointless.
it's
Like,
not
the
a
only
big
thing
deal.
it's
If you sit some of these guys like the last week of the season,
that's a bigger difference because you're keeping them cold.
I would no, I'm like not. different players, not the same player.
Oh, yeah. I hear you.
Because you can't really sit the same players out. Cause
Right.
You wouldn't really have. You would have to keep calling up.
Yes.
I was saying kind of like how the Flyers were in their defense, where one person came out and the other person came back in. That's what I was saying.
Oh, yeah. I gotcha. But so, like, my thing again with Tampa is
because if you don't,
yeah,
because the whole reason Hemmick got hurt is because he got hit, right?
it was a weird play. I still don't know what happened.
And then he got a concussion and he wasn't able to come back. And he was already kind of hurt near that before then, too, because he was just coming back. So I would feel like if anyone you would kind of want to rest and make sure he's fine is Hedman, your top defenseman. And even though you're still pretty good defensively and depth-wise, he's still a big part in your defense and shutting people down. But unfortunately, that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, I just honestly it kind of really bugs me with how Tampa Bay did, because they were kind of chasing the history. They knew that. Cooper knew that. No, I'm not putting all this on John Cooper. No. He's honestly, I think he's my personal favorite coach in the league right now.
There's a reason why they gave him a new contract.
Exactly, yeah. And I think he's always done a superb job ever since he came to Tampa Bay. Yeah. And
they've done better every year.
They have.
Even last year, they had that came down to, or pretty close to the end. They almost didn't take the Atlantic.
Yeah. But, I mean, hey, obviously, and I'm not, I know.
And again,
neither of us are taking anything away from Columbus.
My favor, or my team that I'm going to think is favored to win it all is going to be the Lightning on the main point of, on paper and during the season alone, they are still the best.
Yeah. And they should be. And that's why, like, going into game one, I was so confident they were going to win in 5. They took a 3-0 lead in first period like that. I thought, hell, I should have called it in 4. Before I knew it, 1 goal. Okay, that's fine. They still got 2 goal. Okay, whatever. 3 goal. Oh, my God. 4 goal. What is happening?
Yeah.
All right, that's 1 game.
That's one of those things.
And then out of nowhere,
that was 1 game where like, okay, let's
series is over.
Here. It's not really a given that we're going to win this, but they never really got that mindset.
Unbelievable. But hey, hats off to the Columbus Blue Jackets for literally destroying everybody's brackets in the very beginning.
Sure.
But yeah, no. So,
except if you're a Columbus Blue Jackets
fan. Yeah.
Or an Islanders, Hurricanes, Avalanche, Stars, and Blues fan.
Yes. I did want to talk about Dallas and Nashville for a split second. So, before I go to that,
I'm interested. When you get into this, I kind of interested in this and bring it back to the Flyers. And now that the series is over and they don't get the 4th round pick.
Yes.
How do you now?
You mean 3rd round pick,
right?
It's a conditional 4th.
Right. Oh, right. How do you see the trade now? Or do you still have to wait until the draft to really say something?
I'm saying wait till free. Well, we'll get into that in a second. But so for Tampa Bay, obviously it hurts their entire organization. It also hurts the New York Rangers organization because they don't get a first-round pick this year.
Yep.
From Tampa Bay. Because because it was a conditional 2nd-round pick in that Ryan McDonough trade. And the condition was if Tampa won the Cup either last year or this year, that 2nd-round pick, I think for this year, would have become a 1st-round pick. So that really hurts New York right there.
I think they did great last year drafting.
They did. They got Keandre Miller with one of their picks, and I love that kid.
It's the worst thing that they didn't get a 1st round out of it.
Yeah.
Or they don't have a 1st round. I don't think it's the worst thing.
Wait, just
because of how they drafted before.
Wait, are you talking about this year?
Yeah.
They're the 2nd overall pick.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Yeah. They're
Right.
If they don't draft Kako, I don't know what the heck's going on with them.
Right.
But so now back to Dallas, Nashville. So honestly, because you're the point you're making. So the official trade was on literally the day of the deadline, like a minute or 2 before the deadline was over. Wayne Simmons from the Philadelphia Flyers to the Nashville Predators for Ryan Hartman and a 2020 conditional 4th-round pick. And the condition was if Nashville won a playoff series, it would become a 3rd-round pick. And honestly, I think everyone had Nashville winning that series.
A series.
Or a series in general, whoever they played.
Yeah.
And now that it's over, it's like, wow, that sucks. So Philly, they only get a 4th-round pick next year instead of a 3rd-round pick. yeah, that hurts.
Yeah.
But I think in order to really take a deeper look at this draft, this trade, and say who won the trade, I think you still have to wait till free agency because I don't before I was still unsure if Simmons was going to re-sign in Nashville. Now I'm almost certain he's not going to sign in Nashville. Well, he got hurt.
The whole reason why they brought him in and why depth-wise, and why most teams were interested in Wayne Simmons was because power play, and he's a guy who can throw the body around. Because everyone was like, we need someone to go up against Tom Wilson because they probably thought the Capitals were going to be right there. So we need something to kind of balance this out, and that, and also power play was kind of why they wanted to bring Simmons in.
Yes, sir.
But their power play still sucked, and they lost.
Yeah.
They brought it to 7, so. Oh, no, 6, sorry. They could have brought it to 7.
I was going to say, hold on.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know. I thought that series went 7. It did not. It went 6.
Yeah, it just.
Yeah. Yeah, but now let's look into.
Okay. An update for Joe Pavelski. Pete DeBauer all but rules out Pavelski for Game 1. Said the injury could have been much worse, like a fractured skull, but that's not what it is. Tell Pavelski he's feeling effects of the play. So, obviously, we were expecting him to miss Game 1. So, it sounds like it could have been worse. It's not a fractured skull, so that's a huge, huge win right there.
Could have been.
It could have been much worse.
It still could be a concussion thing.
It has to be.
Kind of be worried about it.
It has to be. There's no way it's not. Players are also missing at the morning skate this morning for San Jose include Melker, Carlson, and Heed.
And Whitmer.
And Jonas Donskor skated around for a bit, but did not stay out for practice.
We're talking about
Practice.
Yeah, but I guess now we can move on to the second round, now that all these rounds are over, and we've pretty much talked about all of them. Not really much of the Colorado.
So now but it's...
But again, it was one of those things where they were hot at the right time.
They were.
Kind of thing.
And I was honestly torn between that series because I love Colorado. I like both
teams.
Oh, I love both teams. Yeah, because I'm a huge fan of Johnny Gaudreau, Sam Bennett. You got Matthew Tkachuk. I love Tkachuk.
I'm not as big on the Tkachuks, but yeah.
I've always been a huge fan of the Tkachuks. But for Colorado, Cale Makar. Oh my God, that kid's absurd. Nathan McKinnon.
But that was another series, like what I said about the Boston-Toronto series, where it came down to goaltending, and it wasn't really that, but it was one of those things where, like, Colorado is still just a line and everything, but still.
Yeah. But still, somehow they make it work.
They do.
They just flatten
both teams.
Calgary.
Both teams that are claimed to just have one really stellar line moved on. Boston and Colorado.
Yeah.
But with that, you want to start in the East?
Yeah.
All right.
So in the East, like I said, the Columbus Blue Jackets are in Boston taking on the Bruins tonight, 7 p.m. NBCSN, TD Garden. This is tough, but
I think it's Boston.
It has to be.
And
Boston's a clear powerhouse.
I'm saying Boston in 5, and I say 5 for the fact, and I don't mind Columbus.
Yeah.
I just really hate John Tortorella, and I feel like his ego is so high right now that he just swept the Lightning and
best team in the league.
Yeah, and the Bruins just went to a 7, and his team's really well rested. I feel like he's going to be into a surprise tonight, and they're probably going to get possibly destroyed.
Well, my thing is
not merely destroyed, but I think they're going to lose. But I think they're going to be I think they'll go 1-1. They'll win the second game. Like, we're fine here, but then Boston's going to take the rest.
Yeah.
That's just my thinking of what's going to happen there.
My only thing is that I think so. Here's why. I'll get to this in a second for the Islanders as well. Same thing with Columbus. I hate to say it, but I don't like teams that have to wait around this long to play. They both swept their
like
series.
there's
Look
a
how
thing
long
of
they've had to wait.
But then there's this thing like, well, these guys are rested, but these guys are also just played in Game 7.
Yeah,
but
they're
not
more
always,
fresh.
Right, that's not always like a good thing. Sometimes it's
good and bad, honestly.
It hurt the Flyers and when they played the Devils in 2012.
Yeah,
because it went to 7 against the Penguins, or was it 6?
6.
But still, it was a grueling 6 games.
It was,
and the Flyers were pretty dead in the next series, which is why
they squeaked out Game 1.
Yeah.
But after that, they lost 4 straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
like sometimes it's
the last time
Game 7, but other times
the last time that either Columbus I said or the Islanders.
Yeah.
So the last time Columbus played was April 16th, actually for both teams. April 16th. That is 9 days ago they last played.
Yeah. That's longer than the bye week in the NHL. Because that's just a week. That's over a week for them to go without playing. I mean, the only positive about that is if you had guys who were hurt, they're a little more healthy now, being off for like 9 days.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm sure they've still been warming up, and I'm sure there was no Rakugutis incidences and hurting Couturier. Yeah. But yeah, that's my thing. I think it's Boston 5. What's yours?
I'm saying Boston 6.
6.
It's still gonna be a good series, but Boston's a clear favorite, powerhouse team. I gotta give Bobrovsky a lot of credit. Bobrovsky looked good. He looked good in round 1.
It's his second. It's gonna be a second time in the second round, right? Because 2012.
Yeah,
he was with the Flyers.
Well, but he didn't really play.
He didn't play, but he was there.
Third time. Sorry, second time. Sorry.
Second time, yeah.
Because 2011 was the first time because he played in most. It was between him and Boucher, and then he took on the Heat of Boston 2011.
So
he got swept there.
Third time being the second round.
Yes.
I'm obviously a better Bobrovsky from then, but still.
Yes, much better. And then the second series, Carolina against the Islanders. I'm picking the bunch of jerks. I love those jerks. They're awesome.
I don't know who I'm taking. I just know it's going to 6 games.
6, I like it. I think this one's still going to 6. I agree with you.
I think Carolina. I think it's one of those things where they're hot at the right time. I think they're going to build off the comeback against the Caps, and especially after Game 5. After Game 5, I thought they were done because the Caps destroyed them.
They did, but then they came back out of nowhere and just dominated from left to right.
In Game 6, right?
In Game 6.
And then Game 7.
So, my thing is, the only, because, Game 7, when it was in overtime, because I watched a good amount of it, of the first overtime for that one.
I watched at the end of the first overtime.
I'm trying to think. No, I watched the whole overtime almost.
Because... Yeah, wasn't like after the first overtime, Washington only had like 4 shots or something like
Literally,
that?
Literally, after like the first 10 minutes alone, Washington didn't even have a single shot.
Yeah.
That's why I knew, and I was so confident in Carolina that the Hurricanes, I think, would have even pulled it out in the first overtime.
I know it's been a couple years since Justin Williams was in Washington, but that was his former team.
It was. Mr. Game 7.
Yep.
Coming up clutch. So here's one thing that this is a huge takeaway for me in Game 7, specifically last night. I got to find out.
How long was Ladd out for?
Huh?
Andrew Ladd? Do you
know?
3.
No. He's out for a while.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Johnny Boychuk's out 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, I thought he was out for a little while. But
no, you know what he is? He's out for the rest of his playoffs because he is a torn ACL.
Oh, that's right. Right. Pussy.
You're brutal. Yo, dude's crazy. Oh shoot, I'm forget. I gotta look it up now.
I only call him that just because.
No, there was a Leafs player, Zach Hyman, I think, that played in the first round against Boston on a torn ACL. It's amazing.
Provorov fucked up his shoulder, still played.
Yeah,
hurt, very hurt, but he still played. Couturier on one knee. Carlson a couple years ago on one knee.
Yeah.
Like these guys can go through a
So
lot.
so in the double overtime, this was a huge turning point for me in the game. I thought Kasaku Manolin for Carolina, he was. I get it. He's trying to clear the puck. He was in his own zone. He flipped the puck so high in the air from literally like one side of the ice, like going diagonal to the other from left to right.
Yeah.
It went over the board, over the glass for delay of game, and right then and there, I thought that's literally it. It's either capture and score on the power play, and if some miraculous way that they survive it, that the Carolina survives it, it's gonna be right after, and that didn't happen. And if I was Rod Brindamore, I would have been furious at him, and I would have benched him for the rest of the period and said, "You put our team in jeopardy. You can't do stupid crap like that. Now you're going to be punished for it."
This is where Ovechkin is most dangerous.
Exactly. But clearly they learned from the weird
thing
mistakes.
is that even though like the little bit I saw, like I know at time you shorten your bench a little bit in the playoffs, especially overtime.
Yeah.
But Washington significantly shortened their bench because for a little there was only a couple times where I saw like Kagelin and them out. The majority of it was Wilson, Ovechkin, and what's his face? Kuznetsov, right?
Yes, Kuznetsov.
That was the only guys who were ever out there for them. Which, I mean, obviously you're going to do that because they're your best player.
Mm-hmm.
Other best player. And then you got a garbage can with you, but still. But yeah, that I thought from the little bit I saw, I was like, wow, Carolina might pull this off just because of
that.
But now moving over to the West.
Yes.
Colorado and San Jose.
That's probably my favorite playoff series.
Yeah.
That's left right now.
I'm going to give it to San Jose in 6.
I'm stuck on this one.
Yeah.
I'm really stuck.
I'm stuck on 3 of them. I'm stuck on this one, the Dallas and
I'm
Carolina.
stuck on this one and Dallas.
Yeah.
The other two, I'm relatively confident. This one, both of them in the West, I have no clue. I want to say Colorado, but honestly, I don't know. I really don't know. It's so tough to tell. I love what Colorado's done. They're getting better. I think Calgary was a decent test.
Sure.
But San Jose is going to be a full force test for them. But here's the best part.
Even though Calgary has a good defense, or decent defense, they're playing a better defense and a better goaltender. Martin Jones has a tendency to play good or bad.
Yeah.
But
so my thing is that oh man. Phil Grubauer, I think he's done exceptionally well. Pavelski's going to be out. That's going to hurt him.
That's going to hurt him.
I think that's going to hurt him. I don't know how many other injuries San Jose is going to be dealing with. I don't know how well rested Colorado's going to be.
I mean, they've
so many factors. But yeah, go ahead.
Colorado's had not as much time as obviously the Islanders or Columbus, but they have had a little time to rest up.
Probably at least 6 days.
Something like that. A week or so. 7 days. But still, that's fine.
Yeah.
This other one I'm up in the air on.
I'm still technically have to make my picks for Colorado. I want to say the Avalanche. You know what? For right now, I'll say Avalanche in 6.
Okay.
Because I think this is going to be one of the. I think this is going to be the best series in round 2. But you know what I love right now?
San Jose got 2 of them essentially.
Yeah.
They came back against Vegas.
You know what I love right now? I wish this one was the conference final. This would have been my favorite conference final matchup.
Yeah.
Colorado, San Jose, winner gets the cup final. But I still love it. Whoever wins this series, though.
It's like 2010, kind of, where Boston and Philadelphia.
Yeah, exactly. Colorado, San Jose, whoever wins this one, I'm content with. I don't care who wins this. All I'm looking for is a good series, just like the Vegas San Jose one. All I'm looking for is a good series.
Other than the Bruins, I don't really care that much.
Exactly. And that's what I was going to bring up is now, because
Pittsburgh's
Pittsburgh's out, Washington's out.
Mm-hmm. And that's why you have to like this. Like, I know people who don't follow the NHL aren't going to like this as much because, who are these teams?
Yeah.
These aren't the teams I'm, like, used to. Like,
exactly.
This isn't Boston. This isn't Philadelphia. This isn't L.A.
It's not Toronto.
New York.
It's not Chicago.
Pittsburgh.
It's not Winnipeg. Not Nashville.
that would probably put Winnipeg and Nashville in that crowd too. For
Yeah.
non.
Oh
NHL
no! I got
people
you. My fault.
focusing
I
on.
thought you were saying another thing.
Because
Right.
that I'm saying the Pittsburgh.
Yes.
And
Yes.
those
Yes.
kind of guys.
No, and you make a great point because
as much
this
as you
is
do,
why
why this is a surprise that some of these teams aren't in it. I still like it.
Yeah.
Like you still have
I
some.
love this.
Like San Jose and Boston are still in it, but and even I guess you can.
Other than that, you don't expect the Islanders or Carolina to be in the second round. You don't expect Dallas to be in the second round. You don't expect St. Louis.
No.
Maybe not Colorado. Boston, I'm not surprised.
No.
I wouldn't be surprised if they made it to the Cup final. Yeah. So because I think they're a good powerhouse team. So
it's a powerhouse team that still has Chara at his age still doing pretty well, eating minutes, and that
Jake DeBrusque, Charlie McAvoy.
That line is still, even though they struggled against the Leafs for the most part, they're still good.
Yeah,
Bergeron is one of the better two-way forwards.
I think he's the best two-way forward ever. Well, sorry, not
ever.
Not ever. Sorry. In the game
right
currently, right now. That's what I meant. Thank you.
I still think
Sorry.
that's a toss-up between him and Couturier.
Yeah, Couturier, trust me, I love Coots, but
that's why every time those two teams play, that's the matchup I'm always looking at.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. It's always a great matchup. Obviously, I love Couturier. He's a hell of a player. Same with Bergeron. If anything, it's a 1-2. It's Bergeron then Couturier. It's right there like that. But do you know what the matchup I would like to see is the early Stanley Cup prediction with the teams that we have left, that we know we have left. Either Colorado or San Jose against Boston or Carolina.
Okay.
Because I would love to see Colorado's top line against Boston's top line.
Yeah.
I would like to see Colorado maybe versus Dallas in the conference final. Because I don't know why. I've always had this imagination of Colorado and Dallas having a rivalry back in the day. I don't know why. I've always seemed like those two teams.
Yeah, because those teams were hot around the same time.
Exactly. And they were always competing with one another.
Because people might think about the Stars just because of Mike Modano.
Exactly.
And
Joe Nieuwendyk.
You could probably say the same thing with Colorado and Joe Sakic and them.
Peter Forsberg
and
Patrick Waugh.
Yeah.
I had a thing on my hold on.
That weird dude.
That weird dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But yeah, no, you get what I'm saying. But no, I think
that just makes me happy about where the NHL is right now.
Exactly, because and that's why
it's not,
even looking at last year,
even though you had the Penguins went back to back, and then you obviously had
Washington when they're
you always had the Blackhawks and the Kings going back and forth and winning. It's still always a surprise. There's never always. It's always different.
That's
why.
That's why. When I first,
because it's not like the NFL or the NBA or
definitely not the NBA.
Playoffs
The NBA is so predictable.
You have an idea who's going to be there.
Not only be there, but probably win it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then NHL is the least predictable because I think the NHL is really maybe the MLB, but it's really the NHL. I think it's only.
You can say, but the only reason why I put the MLB in there is that the Phillies won their run when they won the most. Yeah. They lost in a wild card game.
No, it wasn't wild card. It was NLDS.
NLDS, that's what it was.
But still, yeah, no. So I think it's NHL, MLB for sure. Then NFL, then NBA.
Maybe.
From least to most predictable. Because just again, no, just hockey. Playoff hockey's just the greatest. That's all. I love it.
You get a little bit of everything you want.
Do.
If you're a guy or a fan who likes scoring, you get that. If you're a guy or a person who's more likes the defensive goaltending kind of thing,
you can get that from time to time. If you love overtime, you're bound to get that at some point.
If you like hitting, you got some of that. Not much fighting anymore, obviously.
No. But so I remember what I was going to say. So literally, the only team now that I could care less who wins the cup, I'll say good for them. The only team I would prefer not to win is Boston.
Yeah.
Other than that, I really could care less. I would love to see Colorado or San Jose. That would be great. St. Louis or Dallas would win.
Because of Marchand. That's why I don't want them to win.
Also, Boston doesn't need a third championship
No.
in the same calendar year.
No, they don't.
With the Red Sox and Patriots already winning it.
Yeah.
I don't need a third Boston team winning a championship.
No.
I wouldn't mind if the Islanders won a championship. Imagine that. Imagine the New York Islanders, of all teams, wins the Stanley Cup the first year without John Tavares. Imagine that.
And the first time since the 80s.
Yeah, since 80s.
They're 3 in a row or something like that?
Yeah, they were extreme powers. Carolina, first time since 06.
Mm-hmm.
I would love nothing more than...
San Jose doesn't have one, right?
They do not.
Yeah.
So there's 3 teams in the playoffs right now that did not have one. Sharks, Blues, Blue Jackets. Dallas in 99, Colorado
the Blues are a
2001.
weird kind of franchise because
They are.
they're an original team, but ever since...
No. They're an expansion team.
Expansion team, but after the first couple years, they just were never able to get back to the Cup.
No.
Then they always had in recent history, they always had to face the Blackhawks, and it was always hard for them to make it past the first round.
It was.
I guess hats off to Craig Berube. The only problem is they're probably going to hire Craig Berube, and coming from us and experienced Craig Berube's coaching in Philadelphia, not my favorite coach.
I agree, but again, I think overall he fits a profile for St. Louis better. That's all. That's the only thing.
I think I'm ready to make my prediction.
I think
I am.
Yeah.
But did you said Colorado, right? Because it's my go-to of goaltending, but both goaltenders have been hot.
Which series are you talking about?
Dallas, St. Louis.
Yeah, that's Bennington versus Bishop.
Bishop's been hot, and
Bennington's
hot.
been good.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I might give it to Bishop just because of experience, and also that top stars line has been great for them too.
Yeah.
I'm ready to make my prediction. This is
Go
going
for
to 7 games. It's going to Dallas.
I would like that. This is tough.
So for me, my conference finals are Boston, Carolina, San Jose, Dallas.
Boston, Carolina for sure. I'm going to go Colorado, and I'll go Dallas. I've always liked the idea of Colorado and Dallas having some sort of rivalry again.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see that again.
I am going with San Jose again, winning it all.
There you go. I will pick Colorado.
All right.
Yeah, so. Dude, it's just playoff hockey is a magical thing.
It is.
Oh, God. But literally, I got home at 2:00 in the morning this morning. And then as soon as I got home, because I had my phone off completely, as soon as I got home, went downstairs basement, turned on DVR, watched the double overtime till it was about 2:30. I started 2:10, and then it was 2:37. It ended for me in the morning, and then I somehow fell asleep after that. It took a half hour for me to fall asleep. I was so amped.
Right.
It was awesome, but no, it was such a great series.
Yep.
It was phenomenal.
The playoffs are magical.
Oh, they are. They're a great thing.
Yep.
So yeah, 2 games tonight.
Yep.
7:00, Columbus, Boston, NBCSN, followed by Dallas, St. Louis, 9:30, NBCSN as well. Oh, this is awesome.
Yep.
Enjoy your playoff hockey, folks.
Yes, enjoy it.